Who is this speaking?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, this is Dwayne.
Calls right now. Please get back with as possible. If this is please stop final. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Commander Haffner. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm actually, in fear for my safety.
Okay.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I study Uniform Commercial Code. I study the common law, Constitution, and what I'm seeing is that our government is operating under the law of commerce, the Uniform Commercial Code, and you have people who don't want to contract or enter into commerce with you, with your corporation. And so, to my understanding, what I see is that officers do not understand this, agents of the government don't understand this, and so what they do is they usurp their authority over someone who's not willing to enter into business with them. And so the officer may hit the person while they're asking questions, because they're ignorant of the understanding of how it all works. And so what I want to do to protect myself is to understand, come to an understanding between me and other parties of the contracts. So that way I don't get beat up and I don't have to waste my energy in court.
Why would you get beat up?
Huh?
Why would you ever get beat up?
Well, like for example, there's one video where the guy's at the border patrol and the border patrol is asking him to get out of his vehicle, and he's asking him if he committed a crime. The individual is asking the officer, well, have I committed a crime? And the officer would not answer the question, and they ended up dragging him out, tasering him. The guy...
Was he coming into the United States or leaving the United States?
Huh?
Was he coming into the United States or leaving the United States?
Well, I believe he was born on the land.
Was he entering the United States or leaving the United States?
I don't know. But
that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I do know one thing. It's all on YouTube, and the guy took him to court and they lost. The border patrol was out of line because of his...
The Fourth Amendment does protect you.
Huh?
The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution does protect citizens from unlawful search and seizure.
Yeah. Well, are you on...
The United States Commerce Code does not protect you from anything other than commerce. The Constitution of the United States protects you from the search and seizure and all law enforcement actions.
Yeah.
The Commerce Code does not protect you from anything other than unless you're doing a business.
Right.
So the Constitution is the thing with protection, not the Commerce Code. The Commerce and a business practice has no effect on you. And
Right.
then actually in the United States, each state has its own code. The Federal Commerce Code is very limited unless you're doing interstate transports. Are you aware of that? But each state is a sovereign state, and we are a republic. So
Right.
each state is a sovereign state, part of the Union, but we're all individual states,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So.
So the Commerce Code, unless you're in the process of doing a business, well, it's like if you're an over-road trucker or something, then the Commerce Code applies to you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Everything else, you're protected through the Constitution of the United States of America, it protects all people.
Well, what I'm understanding is that, for example, this is one example, is that driving is an act of commerce, and that's how.
No, it's not, unless you're doing it as a business.
Yeah. Well, then.
So if you're a truck driver, right, you have a Class A CDL, and you're carrying a U.S. DOT trademark on the side of your vehicle, then you'd be considered a vehicle of commerce.
Well, what I'm understanding is that the driver's license is a contract entering into Uniform Commercial Code or the Law of Commerce.
No, that's not correct either.
Okay,
Because
where?
commerce is business.
Okay, yeah. So what? How do I know that? Where did you get that information of that
Read
being
the
a?
U.S. Commerce Code. It has to do with business acts. Okay?
Right. Yes, I understand that.
Transfers of funding and money of
Right.
products or goods within inside the United States within an interstate transport.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So that is what the U.S. Commerce Code covers.
Uniform Commercial Code.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
That's what it covers.
Okay. Well, that is what cities operate under. That's what the Greeley Police Department is operating under, is Uniform Commercial Code.
Why would you say that?
Well, because
Did you sign a contract with the city of Greeley?
well, why would they pull you over for driving when driving
Okay,
is an
now
act
what
of
you need to
commerce?
realize is in the state of Colorado, this is the question I need to ask. Is driving a right or a privilege?
Well, driving in itself is an act of commerce.
No, answer my question. Is driving a right or a privilege?
It's a privilege.
Because it is not covered underneath the Constitution, correct? Nowhere did our forefathers ever think that people would have a car, right?
I would say that's true.
So at no time was ever that entered into the Constitution,
Right.
okay? So each state sets forth their laws pertaining to driving.
Which is commerce.
No, it's not commerce.
Yes, it is.
If you look underneath the 42 code, does it call it a commerce code or a traffic code?
Well, from
Because
what
that's where all your driving is covered underneath. It's not covered underneath the commerce code of the state of Colorado. It's covered underneath the traffic code.
yeah, well, codes are UCC, Uniform Commercial Codes.
No, they're not. Codes are regulations. Regulations fall underneath the law, not underneath commerce.
Constitutional law, common law?
Falls underneath the state constitution.
Well, the state is a corporation, so
No, the state is not. It's an independent, sovereign state, right? Each state is sovereign from the United States. Like I said at the beginning, they're a republic.
I believe it can be if you operate under that, but
Okay,
if
here's the question I guess I need to ask you. The 13 original colonies, and they became the 13 original states, right? Before the United States were formed, they were individual sovereign states,
sure,
correct?
sure,
We're still an individual sovereign state. We set forth laws, and we have a constitution within inside the state of Colorado.
well, there's it says the UCC was drawn up and ratified by most states in the 1950s. Louisiana is now the only state that has not fully ratified the
And when was
code.
that done?
Well, it's to conduct. It's a standard set of business laws that regulate financial
That's right.
contracts.
That's right. Business laws, so people
Right.
can transfer and do business within from state to
Right.
state without having to pay tariffs. Because without that, we would be like we were exporting stuff to Canada or importing stuff, and there'd be tariffs from state to state.
Yeah.
That's why that was set forth.
Well, I think that when you enter into Uniform Commercial Code or the driver's license contract, then you are exiting the law of the land and you are entering the law of the sea and becoming a foreigner to the law of the land. In other words, you're entering in.
Research that a little further.
Huh?
Okay? I think you need to research that a little further.
Well, the problem is that I think you guys do.
Well, I understand the traffic code. It was set forth through the state legislators as a law, not as a code, as a law.
I think it's there's two forms of law: lawful and legal. And legal.
Well, there's actually two forms of law. There's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law.
Okay.
In the spirit of the law, a lot of times people give an example. Somebody driving 10 miles an hour with a speed limit. An officer stops them and doesn't give them a ticket, and they give them a warning, correct?
Yeah.
And the spirit of the law is for the safety of the people. The letter of the law said they should have issued a summons.
Yeah.
Looking at it, like I said, you need to pull up the 42 code and find out where the root of the 42 code comes from.
Okay, is the 42 code, is that Uniform Commercial Code?
No, it's underneath traffic laws.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me look.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
I'll call you back later. Okay.
All right.
Or you call me later, but that's what you need to look at because they're not. Now, when you dig into the 42 code and you get into vehicles of commerce, then that's where you'll be falling underneath the commerce code. And we're talking about any vehicle that's over 10,000 pounds that is used to transport.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that yours. I mean, in regular English, I believe that's true, but in legal language, I don't think that's true.
No, that's in legal English, sir. That's how it's enforced. Okay.
I don't believe that, but.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. What was your name?
Commander Ed Haffner.
Ed Haffner. All right, Ed. I really appreciate your time.
You bet.
Okay, bye. Well, I'll tell you what, these people are just so screwed up. They don't know if they're coming or going. It's 10. Theoretically, that dude should be.
I'm sorry, I thought they were both right there.
Okay, honey, I'm gotta go. It's 10, I'm late. If you want to come down, hon, come on down. I'm gonna call Albert and see if you could work with me. Maybe we could get some stuff accomplished down there. Or, if you don't want to get paid and you just want to hang out, that's fine. Okay?
Okay, honey.
Love you. Whichever one you want to do. You want me to call and ask him
Sure.
if you can work? And we'll add it on our hours. Because we gotta get 50 hours before we start getting paid again.